Aldrin, good to talk to you once again. And you have to say for the DA, this is their last chance maybe to clear up some of those contradictory statements they've been making and speak to the electorate just before May the 8th.
8 minutes for the interview.
Yep. Well, certainly it'd be very important to find out whether indeed the message that the DA came with after the launch of their manifesto, whether that has landed on the ears of the electorate, and whether the electorate has faith within the DA, that the DA will be the party that will be able to take South Africa forward, as well as the various provinces forward. As we know, of course, there's only one province currently that the DA is governing, and that's the Western Cape. But does the DA have the capability of leading any other province, including this particular province here in Gauteng, where people have been saying that this could be one of the provinces that could find itself being led through a coalition? And right now I'm joined by the DA's chairperson in the province, the provincial leader, John Moody, as well as Professor Siposiya. But Professor, let me start with you first. What do you make of the DA's campaign, the door-to-door campaign, the messaging that they've been giving, the billboards as well, and the message on the billboards? Do you think that that has landed on the ears of the electorate and they might find some resonance?
Well, of all parties, the DA has, and of course I should say also the EFF, they've been very clear about what they stand for. The DA has always pushed the message that where they govern, they do it better. They've always spoken about corruption. And if you look at all the scandals that have happened in this country around corruption, one absence is the DA. Whether you talk about the state capture, you talk about the VBS, you find that the DA is not mentioned there. And what the DA has been able to do is to push that agenda to say we've done it well. They were able to also to put the notion of the clean audits. And clean audits are very important because what they're saying is we can account for every cent. And of all the provinces in this country, the one with clean audit is a DA province in Western Cape. But actually, the Western Cape province,
yes,
which is governed by the DA.
Yeah, but this thing about the clean audits, for instance, is that if you look at the province like Limpopo, the Auditor General 2016-2017 report found that there was actually no municipality in the province of Limpopo that got a clean audit, and that was a huge issue. Yet, though, the ANC is still able to get the majority. And in that same province of Limpopo, the DA is the third biggest party, not even the official opposition. So do you think that the electorate really looks into these issues of what the Auditor General would say around the governance of a particular municipality, whether it be a province as well?
Once there's a collapse of services, people are now able to hear that there is a problem with governance. And the importance of governance is actually felt. So once people begin to talk about what they have, that we have water and another municipality does not have water, the question is asked, who is responsible or what could be? And this is where the notion of clean audits comes in, that can they account for a cent that was spent. But most importantly, it's not only about clean audits, it's also about impact, because you could still have a municipality, a province with clean audits, but you find that even though they can account for the money, the money was not spent where the people feel that it should be spent. So we should also approach the clean audits with a bit of suspicion. But what it does say is that there is less corruption there because people can account for cents. And the DA was able to push that message. Where it had failed in terms of its messaging is really to deal with fallout with the Petitia Delil. Because like the ANC, the DA was internally focused in managing that to an extent that it gave a very difficult impression of the DA as far as it works with people of the colored people, colored including black people. So that is a message that they have not been able to deal with, and they may have to address. But when it comes to governance, when it comes to accounting for cents, when it comes to corruption, I would say they've done a good job.
John, the Petitia Delil issue is of course a national issue. Like the ANC experience during the tenure of former President Jacob Zuma. But you find that what happens at a national level also has an impact on the confidence that the electorate would have within the party at a lower level. Have you guys been able to ascertain whether the fallout between Petitia Delil and the party leaders may have had an impact on the potential vote that the party could get on May the 8th?
Well, we recognize that possibility from the very onset. and hence we had tried to negotiate with Patricia de Lille for her to have a clean exit. In other words, that she herself, in terms of her brand, does not get damaged in the process, and that we as a political organization are seen to act decisively in dealing with matters where we find that there is allegations of and evidence of maladministration and mismanagement, because we hold ourselves to a very high standard. Now, once you hold yourself to a high standard, as Prof was saying here, we are constantly telling the people, and they experience the fact that where we govern, we have a cleaner governance, governance in place, etc. So therefore, even from the electorate's perspective, we are measured at a much higher level than anyone else.
Do you think the party could have dealt with this matter better?
I think when a person looks with hindsight, with any instance, you know, there's different ways you could possibly have handled.
But do you think the party could have handled it better?
No. Under the circumstances and the challenges we were facing at that time, I think that we handled it the best we could at that particular time. Okay, we're running out of time. Just a quick one on what the Prof was mentioning about the DA's governance. Back in 2006, the DA governs the Cape Town municipality. It then propels the DA to even govern the Western Cape. You had an opportunity here in Gauteng to govern two municipalities through a coalition, and of course there is the Midvaal municipality, which the DA has won outright. Do you think that the governance of the DA in these two metros, as well as Midvaal, may propel the party to actually govern Gauteng as well? I honestly believe so, yes. You see, we came in, especially the two metros, under very trying and different circumstances to when we took over the Western Cape. But in a short period of time, we were able to show that how we could deal with, especially the issue of corruption. We turned that narrative around. We inherited two bankrupt metros. We turned the finances around immediately. And as the Prof had indicated, the minute you start seeing, you are able to link finances and mismanagement of finances, corruption, etc., to service delivery or the lack thereof, people then come to realize why the service delivery that they are getting is of such a low standard, and then they start demanding a higher standard of service delivery, and they're then able to link the two to each other.
Prof, just quickly before we wrap up, something that we spoke about earlier on, the black support that the DA seems to be enjoying at the moment. Here we have the final rally of the party ahead of the elections taking place in Dobsonville.
Well, I think for people like us who have always been skeptics and coming from Soweto, we have to humble ourselves by reality. That when you come here, as I did this morning, seeing a sea of blue faces, blue color, that actually says that there's been inroads. And the mere fact that they can actually hold a rally in Soweto with such numbers, that is indicative of either the normalization of our politics, that people are now able to say the ANC does not own the black vote. And also, it could also mean that the ANC is not doing a good job. Or thirdly, that the DA has been able to sell his message or to move in where people feel that the ANC should change them.
Okay, Professor Siepo there, as well as John Moody. We'll have to wait and see whether the black vote that the DA has been able to garner over the past few years, including in this area, particularly in Soweto, would be enough for the party to push the ANC below the majority. We know that they've at least tried to do that here in Johannesburg during the local government elections, although the ANC still did get the majority, but not enough to govern the municipality of Joburg. Will we see the same thing happen at a provincial level after May the 8th? And quite importantly as well is whether Mmusi Maimane will be able to increase the party's electoral support beyond the 22% that the party got during the 2014 elections. We'll have to wait and see how exactly that unfolds. We will also continue with our coverage of this final rally of the DA, and we'll be speaking to various DA leaders with regards to where the party finds itself.
Aldrin Sampia, thank you so much.